Welton Ivan Taylor, Black Microbiologist. The detection of diseases in the food supply and the treatment of foodborne infections have made great strides in the last century, thanks to Welton Ivan Taylor. His scientific contributions have helped ensure the safety of America's foods. Taylor was born November 12, 1919, in Birmingham, Alabama, to Cora Lee Brewer and Frederick Elmson Taylor. Soon after he was born, his family moved to Chicago. His interest in biology was sparked when, in the late 1920s, a neighbor friend found some snakes in the yard. Taylor was the only boy who didn't run. Snakes were a curiosity, not creatures to be feared. Thus began his lifelong interest in biology and living creatures. The stock market crash of 1929 and the ensuing economic depression left little hope of employment in Chicago. So in 1930, the Taylor family moved to Peoria, Illinois. It was here that Taylor's curiosity about living things blossomed. He found and learned about fossils, insects, butterflies, and moths. He captured and observed many different creatures. Particularly interesting were the butterflies. He learned about their entire life cycle by observing the transformation from caterpillars to chrysalis and finally to adults. In 1936, the Taylor family moved back to Chicago to enjoy the improved economic times. He graduated from high school at the top of his class. Because of his excellence in school, he was sponsored by some successful Chicago area African Americans. They helped pay for Taylor's college education at the University of Illinois. Although the sponsorship covered most of Taylor's financial responsibilities, he still had to work. One of his unique employment opportunities was the classification and preservation of poison ivy. Taylor was uniquely qualified for this, since he was lucky enough to be immune to the plant's effects on human skin. Taylor graduated from the University of Illinois in 1941 with a degree in bacteriology. He joined the U.S. Army Reserve Officer Training Program at the university, so after graduation, he was sent to active military duty at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. At this time, the U.S. was getting involved in the war in Europe, and the Pacific War was about to begin. At this time, the U.S. was getting involved in the war in Europe, and the Pacific War was about to begin. Although his poor eyesight disqualified Taylor serving as a pilot when he entered the Army in 1941, the regulations were relaxed in 1943 due to the pilot shortage. Since his eyesight was fully correctable with glasses, he became an Army spotter pilot and was part of the first all-black division in combat in the war. When he was off duty, the jungles around the Army bases in the Pacific provided superb opportunities for studying a variety of insects. After the war, Taylor took advantage of the GI Bill to earn his master's degree in 1947 and his doctorate degree in 1948 from the University of Illinois. It was during his doctoral research that he focused on the study of microbes that cause food-borne illnesses, as particularly botulism, one of the most deadly causes of food poisoning. He found the position with the University of Illinois Medical School in Chicago as a bacteriology instructor in 1948 and was promoted to assistant professor in 1950. In this position, he was able to direct students working toward their advanced degrees in bacteriology. He developed new treatments for tetanus and gangrene, combining conventional treatment methods with new antibiotics and analgesics. Because of his work with food-borne pathogens, Taylor was asked to join Swift and Company, a meatpacking firm, as a microbiologist to help keep their products safe for humans. He worked there for 5 years before going back into academics at the Children's Memorial Hospital in Chicago. He also took positions at Northwestern University School of Medicine, the World Health Organization, the Pasteur Institute in France, and the Colindale Central Public Health Laboratories in England. To fulfill his many obligations, he was able to take many overseas trips, oftentimes taking his family with him. In 1964, he returned to the University of Illinois as a professor, and in 1965, Taylor developed a revolutionary method to detect various bacteria that cause foodborne illnesses. As the 1970s approached, Taylor's detection methods became standard practice in the Food and Drug Administration's food inspection process. Today, these tests have become standard all across the globe. Because of his expertise, Taylor found himself doing work as a consultant and expert witness dealing with microbiological and bacteriological issues. Taylor is a member of in many organizations, including the American Association of Bioanalysts and the Chicago Medical Mycological Society. Mycological Society. In 1961, Taylor was the founding chairman of the Chicago chapter of the Episcopal Society for Cultural and Racial Equality. He has been honored with numerous awards related to his research, including the Alumni Achievement Award given by the University of Illinois and the Pasteur Award from the Illinois Microbiology Society. In 1985, a new species of bacterium was named Enterobacter taylori in honor of Taylor's achievements in bacteriology. Taylor married Jane Rowena Kemp in 1945 and has two children, Karen and Shelley. Citations are in the description.